Tyler, I'll let you take it away with the formal introductions.
All right. Okay. On our show tonight, we have the current JCW heavyweight champion and the DMT wrestler. How's it going, Corporal?
What's going on, fellas? What's happening?
Nothing much, man.
How are you doing?
Shit, doing great.
Corporal,
Great. Getting
Corporal Robinson.
ready for a deathmatch tournament by consuming a lot of alcoholic beverages.
That's the way to go.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, you're going to land in a bunch of broken glass. There's one way to get ready. Smoke a lot of cigarettes and drink a lot of alcohol.
Gotta get the mental.
Breakfast of champions here.
Gotta get mentally prepared for something like that, I guess. I mean, how does one prepare to land on broken glass?
Either you're a pussy or not. It's plain and simple. You're either going to step in the ring and give the fans some violent craziness, or you're going to be a wuss and do what everybody watches every Monday night.
Oh, there you
go. You know, that's pretty much the way it boils down to.
Very nice. Deathmatch tournament coming to you live. It's going to be on April 2nd. It's being posted as it's going to be on a major network TV taping.
Right. That's what they're telling us.
Have you heard anything about?
It's filmed for a pilot, and they're hoping to. I think the Fox Network might be picking it up or something. And
very nice.
You know, they're wanting something to compete with UFC, and I
cool.
think us crazy asses can do that.
Hey, man, if someone can pull it off, I'm sure you guys can.
For sure.
So very, very exciting news. You will be going up against Madman Pondo. And,
right.
And what is this? A Taipei psychopathic death match.
Right. And, you know, the crazy part of that, they just had to add psychopathic in the mix of things. No coincidence or nothing. But, you know, anytime you're landing when you got glass glued to your fist, it's psychotic. So, I mean, hey, what are you going to do?
It's so they're going to, wrap your hands.
Yeah, our hands will be dipped in glass. I know there's light bulb tubes going to be used. I think there's window panes going to be used.
Wow.
All kind of glass. It's pretty much just glass-related materials. So there's a beer bottle handed to me. I crack it on Pondo's face, make him a lot uglier.
Wow.
And we'll be good.
Well, Madman Pondo,
good for that.
You have a lot of history with him, man. Wasn't he like your first match in IWA MidSouth?
It is. You know, it's kind of funny the way, you know, things in life circle around because, you know, 15 years later, here I am, you know, one of the top hardcore guys in the nation. And it all started with Pondo, and it seems to be always coming back to Pondo. You know, Pondo's changed over the years. He's learned 4 moves instead of 2. So, you know, I've had to step my game up a little bit in these days. Make sure I know the silencer don't hit me. If y'all don't know the patented silencer from Madman Pondo, that's when Pondo sits you in a chair, and he climbs up to the ring, and the whole crowd silences in the building because he's lame, and he does a front flip off the top. But anyway,
not that exciting.
If I can get that silencer, I'm okay.
Very nice. So
I got my scouting report done.
All right, very cool. You know, y'all obviously have some history in the past. You know, is there?
Pondo's a tough ass. I'm not even fronting. I mean, all jokes aside, Pondo's one of the toughest men I've ever been in the ring with.
Yeah,
you can't beat him down. You hit him with maneuvers after maneuvers, and his fat ass always gets up. You know, he can take a beating, and that's his game plan. You hit him with so much shit, you get wore out.
Yeah.
And then that's when he cracks you in the head with a stop sign. Now, thank God, I've received many. I'll make this properly. Like, I don't want to say I've received many blows to the head because I have from females, but also from a few weapons in my day.
Very nice. Given y'all's history, have y'all formed like sort of a mutual respect, or do y'all just y'all go out there and just beat the hell out of each other?
It's a mutual respect between me and Pondo. You know, Pondo's also a fellow juggalo. And he's been in JCW for a long time. He's pretty hated, you know, most of the time in JCW. But here recently, you know, the juggalos are kind of taking to him. So I don't know. I know it's always a fight when it comes down to me and Pondo. It's always going to be bloody and crazy and nuts.
So it's good for the kids, basically.
It's great for the kids. Make sure you bring them out.
Okay. It's going to be out on 25 South Stockton Street in Trenton, New Jersey. just 2 blocks away from the Trenton Transit Station, direct line from Penn Station, NYC.
Real close to Jersey Shore.
Very.
Oh.
Yeah, so bring all them little tricks that are on that show can come hang out with some real cool guys.
Gonna give a couple chair shots to Snooki.
Yeah, I got a chair shot for Snooki.
Of the head.
I got a little dick for dinner for it, too.
So the tickets are only $20 in advance, $25 the day of the show. Again, it's going to be on Saturday, April 2nd. It's going to be hosted by Shane Douglas.
Yeah, icon.
Very nice.
That's for sure. Shane Douglas is in the house. I'm pretty geeked to have that go down.
And that's what something I was going to ask you. Is there any other wrestlers out there who, if you were introduced to, you just kind of like it'd be sort of surreal?
You know, I've been blessed over the last 5 to 6 years, to pretty much meet all the people that I grew up adoring and watching. Terry Funk was in my corner at Bloody Mania, which is one of the greatest moments ever for me in wrestling. I wrestled against Scott Hall, which was classic, and names after names after names has been brought through JCW. I've had the pleasure to either hanging out with or wrestling against, and I can't honestly say there's somebody right now that if I meet, I'd like go, fuck, we just smoked a blunt with Bret Hart 2 weeks ago. That was pretty awesome.
Awesome, man.
So no, I mean,
now we know why they call him the Hitman.
You're around any legends, you give them the respect they deserve because they paved the way.
Yeah.
They're the reason why we're doing what we do. Them guys busted their asses for years and years and years, so we'd have something in a sport that we could love and pass down from generation to generation. And that's what I'm just trying to do now. Rewrite my history book. Give the fans what they want to see. Give them something a little bit different, and pass my knowledge down to younger wrestlers.
Very nice.
There you go. On the card, I believe it says the main event was Axel Rotten versus Masada.
Yes.
Masada is actually a hometown boy for us, Beaumont, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
Masada's went at it before too. It was the 2000. I think it's 2008 King of the Deathmatch. My last deathmatch tournament with Ian Rotten. Me and Masada was in the semifinals on a Flaming Coals match, where he ended up pie-bombing me on a pit of hot coals. And we had some skewers we stuck in each other's head. Pretty brutal, bloody match.
Awesome.
That sounds like quite a bit of fun.
Yeah. It was completely insane. Completely insane.
Wow. I mean, there's no way I could possibly do that. So you're much higher of a man in that category than I am. So, you've had some training. You were in the Marines.
Yes.
Before you got into the wrestling. Has any of that training helped you out in any way?
When I was in the Marine Corps, the main thing about doing the Corps was being able to take you to your limits completely. So once you've went through Marine Corps boot camp, which I did in Parris Island, South Carolina, we started with 300 and we graduated with 30.
That's insane.
So,
wow.
It's really the best of the best that makes it through there. And I'd say more, the military prepared me more in a middle standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, of course, I was in shape and all that. I mean, that's needless to say. But as far as mentally, there's nothing that I in my mind that I can't overcome. There's nothing that I can't put myself through. I'd say that's the most the military, helped me out with.
Absolutely. And I mean, whenever you first got starting in the into the wrestling biz, what made you want to switch from just the regular pure wrestling to the more like hardcore status? Like what about it?
Well, what I grew up, watching USWA and the Memphis style of wrestling, and when I first broke in, that's where I was at. It was their wrestling school with Tracy Smothers and Jamie and Wolfie and them guys taking me on the road. Mm-hmm. So, I was lucky enough to get the background of the traditional wrestling, but by then the ECW was just taking off. And I fell in love with that product. You know, when I saw it on TV with Sabu and the Eliminators and New Jack and them guys, and everybody ripping it down, and Shane Douglas doing them crazy promos, and Raven doing his stuff, you know, and you know the pit bulls are crazy. You know, it was an awesome show. And it hooked me, and I want to be able to do that something different in the wrestling business, not just your traditional every Saturday, Sunday style of wrestling. I want to be able to take it to the next level, and I wanted to be the best at doing it. I didn't want to be just a guy that's seen them do stuff and try to imitate it. I wanted to be the best at doing that kind of wrestling. So that's kind of where I took my career towards.
Very cool. Nice.
Is there like a bump or a weapon shot that you've taken that was just so crazy that you'll never do it again? Or
yeah, it almost killed me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, I almost died literally in the ring. I got hit with a window pane. We didn't know at the time it was a window pane, but it was wrapped in fluorescent light bulb tubes, and it was you know, if you of course know the size of a window frame, they're pretty good size.
Yeah.
But we had thought that they had built just a light tube, like table type deal, because those were real popular in IWA at the time. So we figured we'd just break that and get that out of the way. And then I was doing a no-roll barbed wire assault match with Ian Rotten. And what had happened was I was taking the bump on the floor. Ian was over top of me, so he threw the window at me. And the way I had my arms, and I took the bump, the glass, it broke, and it bounced off the ground and stuck in the side of my temple.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up shooting blood in the third row. Almost bled to death, formed an aneurysm. I was out for a whopping 3 weeks, and then showed up out of nowhere to the crowd going bananas.
That is insane.
To make my return back to wrestling. But, yeah, people thought I was retiring. It was over. There wasn't no chance. But, yeah, and I don't know if I'll ever tell you, I also got third-degree burns from a flaming table one time.
Wow.
So anytime I do that, I got to make sure I get paid a lot.
At least cover expenses for the
really
hospital.
Sucked badly.
Wow.
And the other worst, I'd say, was the barefoot thumbtack matches I did. I did 3 of those matches, one with the late J.C. Bailey, which was really awesome, and the other 2, one against Ian Rotten and one against Madman Pondo.
Wow.
I mean, those kind of matches, do you mean... Is it just one of those things where you're just like, okay, I know this is going to hurt, but I'm just going to work through it? Or is it just...
Right. It's that mind over matter.
Wow.
You know, you realize what it is, and the crowd's, I don't know, with the shock of you actually being able to go through it. Giving them that, oh, my God, I can't believe this type feeling, you know, that it's really happening. There's nobody pulling punches or anything. It's 2 guys really killing each other in there.
Yeah.
And guys really landing in that shit. Yeah, you gotta balls up. You gotta either do it or not do it. You know, if you're claiming to be a deathmatch guy, then you better go out there and do it the right way, or just stay back to doing normal wrestling. Has there
ever been in a match where they told you the scenario and you just said, no, I'm not doing that?
Never.
Really?
I've done anything ever put in front of me.
Wow.
Including the razor blade board match and all that.
Goodness.
Wow.
So you are definitely tough, to say the least.
Wow.
Not afraid to fight and bleed a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it's just, wow.
It's the wow factor again.
You know, as a deathmatch guy, how do you feel about like mainstream wrestling, like WWE, being in the PG phase? You know, like they don't do chair shots, you don't see any blood. You think it's like watering down the product, bad, or is it good?
Well, you know what? The thing about it is, if they're not doing it, at least somebody to watch me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
someone's gonna be looking for it, and they'll find you.
Right. You know, if that's the way that, you know, I mean, hands down, WWE's got the best product in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to be an idiot not to disagree with that. Now, we might not agree with the angles, we might not agree with people do with people or any of that, but their product's the best on the market right now. That's what everybody strives to go and all that. I mean, me, I don't give a damn. I'm a lane of glass and barbed wire forever, so whatever. You know, I'm perfectly happy where my career's gone and where it's heading. So, yeah, you know, with WWE not doing chair shots or anything like that, you know, all that means is when they come to our show, they're going to be like, hell yeah. And when they come to a JCW show, they're going to be like, these guys are nuts.
Very nice.
You know, that's what we want. You know, that's what we do.
If you were ever like approached by Ring of Honor, or TNA, or WWE, would you join them knowing that you couldn't do any of the blood matches or anything like that?
Well, you know, I got no problem regular wrestling. I've been doing that forever too.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I don't limit myself to strictly just doing death matches. I don't. Mm-hmm. You know, I pretty much do it all. Right. So I mean, if they approach me for a job or whatever, it had to make sure it fit in my schedule with what I'm doing in Psychopathic.
Right.
And two, it had to be right, you know, under the right conditions and the right circumstances.
Okay.
You know, other than that, they're going to get my total 100%. Anytime I go to the ring, I give it whatever 190%. You know, so it doesn't matter if I'm in the ring at JCW, Ring of Honor, PWG.
Yeah.
If I'm in Mexico or in JCW.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be the same. As far as my wrestling and what happens there, nothing's going to change.
Definitely. That's very good. Who would be like the ultimate match for you? Like, who would you love to face if you were given the choice?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, who? How about this? Who would you love? Who would you love to one-on-one just regular wrestle? Who would you love to have in a death match?
I've never had a one-on-one match with Mick Foley. And that would probably be, if there's one match left that I haven't done that I'd want to do, it would be to wrestle a Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Cactus Jack, because like I said, he was, again, one of the icons and
the
guys that got people paying to want to see what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give him that respect and go out there and bump my ass off for a legend like that would be great. I'd have to say probably Mick Foley.
What kind of match would it be?
Whatever he wanted.
Give him the choice?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I wouldn't tell Mick Foley what to do. You know, so, whatever he wanted to do, I'd be perfectly happy with.
As long as at the end, as long as y'all had a nice day.
Right. As long as we have a nice day, I'm straight.
That would be very good. So
instead of Saco, it'd be the boot camp, and I'd be happy.
There you go. So the deathmatch tournament is going to be on April 2nd. Are you getting excited about it? Or is it just one of those?
Super geeks, man. It sounds to me like a really awesome thing. I've done a few different interviews for this. Seems like people and everybody's getting really hyped for this show out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to throw our style and the JCW style into the mix of things with all them other kind of hardcore guys. And
that's awesome.
Ready to throw down and see what happens.
All right. Awesome. Well, best of luck to you. And thank you for taking some time out of your day to join us.
No problem, fellas. Anytime y'all want me on, just give me a buzz.
All right,
cool,
Corp. Thank you very much. And
right now, I'm going to go back to catching my buzz.
You have fun with that, and take it easy.
All right, fellas. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.